Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SeoSamba. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SeoSamba.com. That's SeoSamba.com.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. Today we have with us Doug Willmarth with Genghis Grill. Welcome, Doug.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for having me.
Well, before we get too far into things, tell us a little bit about Genghis Grill.
Sure. Genghis Grill is the premier create-your-own stir-fry restaurant in America. It's actually a very unique restaurant. It's a restaurant where our guests get to create whatever they want. We have over 80 fresh ingredients, sauces, premium proteins, fresh cut veggies. We do all the prep work for them. So they just get to create whatever they want. We have recipes for them. They can create their own. And at the end, they hand it to our grill masters. They grill it fresh for them right before their eyes. And 6 minutes later, you have fresh stir fry.
And then, so this is an in-person experience, or is this something I can order and then pick up?
Well, it started, of course, as an in-person experience. In the last couple of years, we've added online ordering. We've added chef-created signature bowls. So there's actually a number of different ways that you can get Genghis Grill. Right now, you can go to our website. We have a branded app. So digitally, you can order there. You can order creating your own, just like you would in the restaurant. We'll just build it for you. Or you can select one of our chef's signature recipes. And in that case, we've got a preset recipe that we know is going to be delicious, and you can order that. We're also available on DoorDash and Uber Eats. Of course, you can also walk in, create your own stir fry, get it to go, or get it to dine in.
Now, this concept has been around for a while. I remember in college, and a long time ago, that there was a version of this where it was like the biggest treat. We would go there and gather around and watch someone stir fry up our meal, and that was unique in the town that we were in. How did Genghis Grill kind of start and evolve?
Yeah, it started like that. I think there's been this type of cooking been around for a long time, certainly in Asia. But it started becoming more popular here in the West. And in 1998 in Dallas, Texas, Genghis Grill was first founded. And we grew pretty quickly. Our first franchisees were some guys who were just young college guys that they went into the restaurant, said, "We love this. We could do this." So they signed up to be franchisees. Eventually, they bought the brand and were off to the races. So it's really kind of a unique experience. As you mentioned, it's really, we call it eatertainment, but there is something kind of fun and engaging. And sometimes our guests are in it because they want to express their inner chef and they really have an idea about exactly what they want to eat. Sometimes it's as simple as I'm on a particular diet and I want to be very choiceful about what I eat, and we can customize your meal like nobody else can. And then, of course, we've got the folks that trying to figure out how much food they can get in a bowl is actually a lot of fun. And so it becomes a game to them to see just how big they can build their bowl.
So was it initially built as a franchise, or was it something that started out and someone's like, "Hey, you should franchise this"?
So funny enough, it was started by Jeff Sinelli here in Dallas, Texas. And Jeff was just growing it. And I think he had 4 locations when the guys that ended up owning it literally just put a note in the suggestion box that says, "Hey, we'd really like to build one of these. Would you consider franchising?" So I don't think from the gate, Jeff thought about franchising, but it became a big part of the strategy.
So now, as kind of the industry is kind of going through the pandemic, and I'm sure this obviously impacted your in-person, the way that you were doing business, and you had to kind of tweak systems. Can you talk about how the franchisees, how you were able to support them through that? Because that was a challenging time, and I think this is really where some franchises really did shine, because they were able to give kind of a lifeline and a path for some folks that if they were on their own, they would have been really struggling.
Yeah, I think, we, like everybody else, the pandemic kind of sprang on us And we had to react very, very quickly. And within a matter of days, we went from becoming aware of the pandemic to really closing dining rooms throughout. We had been fortunate in that back in 2018, we had started a program to really accelerate our off-premise business, and in particular, our digital sales. So we had built a brand new website in 2018, added a app and delivery in 2019. So the beginning of 2020, we were actually very well positioned to be able to transition to an online-only business, which is the way, depending on the state, we had to operate for months or so at a time. One of the first things that we did as a company is, we reached out to our franchisees. We sort of immediately, started talking to them about what help they needed. We paused all royalties. We paused all ad fund contributions, and really tried to be their advocates as they work through all the things around PPP and how can we help them bridge this time, because we knew we were going to come out the other side of this and there was going to be some great opportunities. And one of the things that we're actually most proud of is we only lost one restaurant during the pandemic. We only had one restaurant close.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, because when you see so many, especially these independents struggling, to be able to only lose one is really quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, and that was, we were fighting right to the end on that one. But it was a single franchisee up in Minnesota, and he just was really, really struggling. The upper Midwest got hit particularly hard by the closures in the pandemic.
Now, what are you seeing any trends in this business? I know we're here in Atlanta, and there's something that's popping up, these ghost kitchens, where there's like kind of almost like a co-working space for kitchens in some places where they're able to make any kind of brand out of a commercial kitchen, but they can fit a bunch of them in. Are you seeing ghost kitchens as a part of your path going forward?
So we did a unique spin on the ghost kitchen idea. So obviously, key to our brand as Genghis Grill is the create your own interactive component. And so having the ability for the guests to come in and really experience that live is really an important part of the Genghis Grill brand. But what we recognized is, at the core, what we had was a great, kind of Pan-Asian stir-fry concept. We have all the food, we have all the ingredients, we have, great chefs, great recipes. But the problem is that most customers think about us as the create your own place. So what we did is we actually launched a new brand online called Stir Fry Chef, which was utilizing the recipes that we had developed and all the labor and food we already had in the restaurant. But Stir Fry Chef was really positioned as, kind of your traditional restaurant brand where you order dishes and they get delivered to you. So that's a way that we were able to help our franchisees get an additional revenue stream from customers that otherwise maybe wouldn't have considered ordering us online because they thought, Genghis Grill is the place where I want to come in. So that has been a nice sort of successful addition for us.
And then that's just kind of through delivery. Is that how you kind of
right
get?
Now we're operating, through delivery. There is a plan, sort of in place. We're kind of watching to see how this market develops. We have a plan in place that we can actually add our own branded website and do the delivery, through our own channels instead of using the
third party.
Partners.
Wow. Yeah.
And then, there's also a plan down the road for how we'd be able to use it to pick it up. But the beauty of this model is that it really doesn't take very much incremental investment at all. The food's already there. The labor's already there. You're utilizing existing facilities. And so the upfront investment to get into this business for our franchisees is less than $1,000.
Wow. And then it gives them this additional revenue stream without really changing much.
Yeah, essentially it's we make the food as exactly as we would have had somebody ordered from Genghis Grill online. What we're doing is really helping them see that, we can make a great pad thai, we can make great Mongolian beef. And so we have a number of these recipes that people would maybe not normally have thought that, I can just get that from Genghis Grill.
Now, are you able to kind of flex to the kind of healthy eating trends that are happening, like with these, paleo or keto? Because I would imagine that your ingredients are pretty friendly for those kind of people with those kind of diets.
Yeah, what's amazing is because we have, essentially the ability for you to create whatever you want. We can not only handle those variety of diets, but you have a group of people who are all on different diets. They can all come and stay on their diet. At Genghis, and on our website, we actually have, a section of the website that talks about how do you eat paleo at Genghis Grill? How do you eat gluten-free at Genghis Grill? How do you eat, if you aren't trying to eat low calorie, if you're trying to eat all protein? We have different recipes there, different tips and tricks, but we have, a variety of things that you can select in your bowl so you can add or avoid whatever you want.
So now, what does kind of the rest of the year look like, and maybe going into next year for growth for Genghis?
Well, if I had a crystal ball on what's going to happen with pandemics and restaurant industry, I wish I did. But I think what we're focused on is coming out of the pandemic, we've really seen sales not only return to where they were, but actually accelerate. And part of why we think we're seeing this is people are coming back into the dining room, but we're still retaining a very robust off-premises business. So a lot of the people that have learned that they can get great food from delivery or great food to carry out have continued to do that while they've come back into enjoying food in the dining room. So that's been a nice addition for us. And as we look forward, we have been actually on the last 2 to 3 years, we have been reinvesting back in the brand. We've got a new prototype that we've built, and we've got some really updated and refreshed branding. We're investing back in the food. So as part of that, we've actually started looking to expand our franchise base for the first time, in about 5 years. So we're going to be looking at adding new locations early in 2022. We're looking at a new company store and some new franchise stores as well.
Now, can you talk about internally when you're a brand that's kind of been known for an experience in person in real life, and then something like this happens that's disruptive, and I know that you had the foresight to kind of be ready for online and some of this curbside probably ahead of time. But mentally, that's a slight mental shift. When you're kind of the DNA of the brand was this, like, let's get people together and kind of like you said, what you call it, eatertainment, where you're eating and it's kind of this interactive community feel. How do you kind of pivot? Was that kind of a discussion? Were there some people that were fighting for, like, we got to, maintain this kind of experience? Like, what was kind of the thought process when you were going through that transition?
Yeah, I think what we tried to do is preserve as much of the experience and the fun of it as we could. As I mentioned earlier, people come into the restaurant for a couple of reasons. Part of it is the fun and the interactivity, but there is a key component of people wanting to be able to select exactly what they're eating. And so, there is still that component to it that I think was very strong. We were actually really surprised to see, our online business, which had been tracking at about 17% of sales for off-premise, just overnight exploded to 2 to 3 times, depending on the location. So our guests who are big fans stayed with us. So we were super excited about that. And as we worked through pandemic restrictions, there was a time when, we worked to build bowls for them when we weren't allowed to have them build their own bowls. And so they'd actually walk through the line and we'd have somebody, similar to a Chipotle style, sitting there building the bowl for them. So we were very flexible in the model in order to allow people to continue to access the brand. And when we were able to go back to having customers build their own brand, we saw actually sales really pick back up again.
Now, is it something where you're like, hey, maybe we should have a restaurant that has a super small footprint and then we're just making it all for them and it's all kind of a online to go? Is that one of the choices? Like, so you get away from the eatertainment part and you're just executing the quality food delivery in the manner that they want with the ingredients they want?
I don't think we're at that point with the brand. I think like everybody else, we've taken a look at how the world has changed. in the last year and a half, and we've updated our prototype. So the new company store that we're looking to build here in the next 9 months has got a different layout. There's more emphasis in the to-go part of the experience in terms of, how are we making a better, smoother production engine from the beginning in the design? How are we making the pickup seamless for our customers? So we've changed the design a little bit, took the dining room down a bit, but we do think, retaining the ability of our guests to come in and be hands-on in building their food, I think is a key component of the brand and will always be part of it.
Yeah, it's fascinating because, like you said, there was a time when you couldn't do that part, but you still were able to kind of recreate it as best you can, and you don't want to lose that. That becomes kind of the North Star for the brand.
I think that's what really differentiates us, Lee. So the food is great, and our customers that know how to make their favorite dishes, love their dishes, and that's why I think our business was able to sustain so well. But what really differentiates the brand is we're the only place where you get to come in and you're the chef. You get to be hands-on in creating what you want. And so knowing that that's a key differentiation point, we'll want to keep that in the brand.
Now, what does an ideal franchisee look like for you guys? Are they kind of those second act folks? Are they, people who have a bunch of food franchises and they're just kind of rounding out a portfolio?
Well, I think our ideal franchisees are, folks that are experienced in the restaurant segment. They're well capitalized, so they can benefit from building multi-units. So there is certainly a learning curve on this and economies of scale. So if you have the ability to put in 4, 5, 6 units in an area, then you really can fine tune your systems and you'll be more profitable. So we're really looking for franchisees that are looking to open at least 3 locations. That being said, our concept is actually very easy to operate, very, very heavy on the prep. But you don't have to have, a really expensive chef and a lot of culinary talent, because what we're doing essentially is letting the customer pick what they want and then, stir frying it for them. So it's actually a fairly lean model and pretty easy to operate.
And then are you looking for folks in certain regions right now? What are you looking for?
Well, right now, the brand, interestingly, plays really, really well in mid-America. So our core customer, as you can imagine, they're people that don't mind getting their hands dirty, that don't mind stepping in, and they've got a little bit of a do-it-yourself mentality. So there's certainly kind of the heartland of America. You're, kind of middle of the road consumer is where we're going. So the nice part about that is that we really don't have to fight for that, premier position, in the wealthier neighborhoods that so many restaurants are trying to get at. So we do very, very well right down the middle of the country. We do very well in the South. And since that's where the brand is strongest, that's where we're looking to sort of fill in at this point in time. So we've got some spots in Texas that would be really good, but also, kind of in the States in between Texas and North Carolina, just filling in our footprint in the South.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on all the success.
Well, thank you, Lee.
And if somebody wants to learn more about the opportunity, is there a website?
Well, you can certainly go to GenghisGrill.com. There is franchising information there. It's really, at this point, just fill out the contact form, and Rich Guckle, who is our head of franchising, will be in touch.
And that's GenghisGrill.com. Doug Willmarth, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you, Lee. I appreciate being on.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.